In every village, there is a road no one walks at night. In our village in Kerala, it's not because of ghosts, it's because of guilt. This is the story of a man who couldn't walk properly, and a village that walked past him anyway. In the small rain-soaked village of Mandakayam, everyone knew Raghavan. He wasn't known for wealth or status, but for the way he walked. Born with a twisted leg, his every step was a slow, painful struggle. He dragged one foot behind him, a constant, scraping sound on the dusty village paths. Children, in their thoughtless cruelty, would sometimes mimic his limp and laugh. Adults, uncomfortable and ashamed, would often avoid his gaze, pretending not to see his daily battle. But despite the stares and the silence, Raghavan was kind. His heart was far straighter than his leg. Every single evening, whether under the scorching sun or through the pouring monsoon rains, he would make his way down the narrow road that snaked beside the vibrant green paddy fields. He carried groceries for his neighbors, ran small errands for the elderly, earning just a few rupees for his efforts. He never complained. He just had one peculiar saying, a phrase he would repeat to anyone who cared to listen. "If I reach home before dark, I'm safe." No one ever thought to ask him what he meant. They just nodded and walked on. One monsoon night, the heavens opened up like never before. The rain fell not in sheets, but in a solid, blinding wall. It was the kind of night that erased the line between the road and the sky. Raghavan was late. He was walking home, his small bag of groceries clutched tightly, the rain plastering his thin shirt to his skin. Down that same unlit road, a local bus was speeding, its driver trying to outrun the storm. There was no warning horn, just the roar of the engine and the splash of water. Then, a sickening sound cut through the noise of the downpour, a dull, heavy thud. Villagers, huddled in their homes, heard it. A few brave souls ventured out with lanterns, and there, on the flooded road, they found him, Raghavan. His body was twisted at an impossible angle, more broken than it had ever been, but he was still alive. His eyes, wide with pain and fear, found theirs. He whispered, his voice barely audible above the storm, "Please, don't leave me here." Panic and selfishness filled the air. Someone muttered that the nearest hospital was miles away. Another complained that the rain was too heavy to even see. Then, a final, chilling voice said, "He won't survive anyway." And with that, one by one they turned their backs. They left him there, drowning in the rain and his own blood, and walked back to the warmth of their homes. Raghavan died alone, on the very road he had walked with such dedication every single day. His blood mixed with rainwater, flowing down the path and seeping into the soil of the paddy fields he had passed 1,000 times. The next morning, when the storm had cleared, his body was found. His eyes were still open, staring into the sky. His mouth was half open, as if he was still trying to call for the help that never came. The village, now shrouded in a collective unspoken shame, performed the necessary rituals. They chanted prayers. They thought they could wash away their sin with ceremony. They tried to move on, but the road didn't forget. The road remembered. Soon after Raghavan's death, strange things began to happen. At night, when the village was quiet, people started hearing it. The unmistakable sound of footsteps, one firm, one dragging slowly through the mud. A limping shadow was seen flitting near the edge of the fields. Village dogs, who used to roam freely, would stop dead at the start of that road, whimpering and refusing to go any further. Auto-rickshaw drivers reported their engines suddenly dying in that exact spot. Bus drivers swore they felt an unseen force gripping their wheels, trying to slow them down. And on rainy nights, some villagers, hurrying home, would hear a faint whisper carried on the wind, "Please, don't leave me." The fear in the village grew, but it was the morning of the discovery that turned that fear into sheer terror. A trail of muddy footprints appeared on the road, stark against the damp earth. One print was normal. The other was the long, unmistakable mark of a foot being dragged. The trail started at the exact spot where Raghavan had died, and it led all the way to the doors of the village temple. When the priest saw the footprints, his face went pale. He stood silent for a long time before finally speaking, his voice trembling. He said only one thing: "A soul that dies begging doesn't go where prayers can reach." The first to truly see him was a young schoolboy, walking home late one evening. He saw a figure standing in the rain, near the bend in the road. It was a man, his leg bent, his body broken. But when the figure turned, the boy saw his face. It wasn't angry or vengeful, it was calm. The boy said the man looked right at him, offered a sad, gentle smile, and asked a simple question: "Will you help me, or will you walk away too?" The boy didn't even have time to scream. He simply fainted from fright. Even today, decades later, no one in Mandakayam walks that road after the sun goes down. The story is passed down from one generation to the next. Because sometimes, when a lone traveler is forced to take that path in the dark, they say they feel a presence beside them. They hear the soft scrape of a foot dragging on the ground. He doesn't attack, he doesn't scream, he just walks with them. And if you try to quicken your pace, to walk away faster, you'll hear a quiet whisper right behind you that night. You walked faster too. Some ghosts don't want revenge, they want someone. To finally stop, subscribe for more videos.